So we're going to differentiate the given function. Remember, it's a function not of x, but it's a function of t. So we're going to differentiate with respect to t. First, note that this is a single function to begin with, okay? So it is not a product, not a quotient, not a sum, not a difference. It's a single function. And it initially, the outermost function looks like an x squared. So if f of x equals x squared, the derivative would then be 2x, right? So we're going to differentiate this function, and obviously we have to use the chain rule because it's a function of a function. So we have 2x to the 1, so we keep it as 2x. So instead of x, we are differentiating with respect to sine squared t minus 10t cubed. But notice that this inner function is a function of t, so therefore we still need to differentiate. So this is the chain rule that we're using. So it's d by dt of the inner function sine squared t minus 10t cubed. So in the next step, g prime of t is equal to 2 sine squared t minus 10t cubed times d by dt of the function of t. So now notice that it's a difference. Now when we differentiate this function, it's a difference of two functions. So we differentiate the first function, and notice that sine squared t is the same as sine t the whole squared minus, leave the constant alone and differentiate. So basically it's the difference of the derivatives of the two functions, but we are differentiating with respect to t and not x because it's a function of t. So we have 2 sine squared t minus 10t cubed times d by dt of sine t the whole squared is, it looks like an x squared. Notice f prime of x is 2x, so 2 sine t. Notice that we are differentiating sine t the whole squared with respect to sine t, and that's how we initially get 2 sine t, but we have to go ahead and multiply with the derivative with respect to t of the inner function sine t. That's the chain rule. Minus 10 times d by dt of t cubed is 3t squared. We're almost done except for one more step. So we go times 2 sine t, d by dt of sine of t. So we multiply with d by dt of sine of t is equal to cosine of t minus 3 times 10 is 30 t squared. So this is equal to 2 times sine squared t minus 10t cubed times 2 sine t cosine of t. You could simplify it and write it as sine of 2t. That's the formula. Sine of 2t is 2 sine t cosine t minus 30t squared.